You have some electoral commission officers at the district level denying flatly that agents are not supposed to be there. So when you have to...
But what could be the EC's motivations behind the U-turn?
You go with the voter ID card. You should also go with evidence that actually you have relocated and you have stayed at a new place for no less than 12 months.
We have an update on an emergency IPAC meeting ongoing at the EC headquarters. After news of Joy News Dialysis Crisis Series, the National Health Insurance Scheme is set to begin a free 6-month dialysis program starting this June.
We are doing this on compassionate grounds because it is our 20th anniversary, and we believe that by the time the 6 months elapse, government would have announced a sustainable plan.
Well, the Renal Patients Association of Ghana describes the initiative as laudable but demands a lasting solution. Also in this bulletin, actor Lewin arrested by the Zongo police in the Ashanti region over 1 week after an accident involving his vehicle, which claimed the life of a 3-year-old boy. Sports.
Black Stars of Ghana intensify preparations for the World Cup qualifiers against Mali and the Central African Republic.
Ubengio saved by what he calls grace. That's the story of the organizer of the Odame pedestrian shopping mall, who recounts how he miraculously missed being burnt by the fire that killed over 150 at Circle on June 3, 2025.
So once you see the clouds and become like a cotton wool roll in a way, to as much as possible to find a proper place to stay and the wind passes.
There was a meteo agency cautioning against moving when the rains, mostly accompanied by strong winds, start. And plus, Ghanaian dance duo Afronita and Abigail placed third after a grueling finale at the 2024 Britain's Got Talent show.
Every time you've been up there, you have been shining in all your glory, Ghana energy.
And it was the most unbelievable feeling, knowing that you're so good.
My name is Hannah Odame. I'll bring you details of that story and more in this bulletin. This is Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible journalism. We start with the Electoral Commission, and political parties are urging them to respect the terms of the agreement that was reached at the last Inter-Party Advisory Committee meeting to have their representatives present in all EC offices as the transfer of votes begins. The exercise is to allow applicants to transfer, undertake proxy or replacement of their voter ID cards in all district offices of the EC. The political parties are not happy that despite an agreement to have their representatives supervise the exercise, the EC is not going by that. Let's hear from MPP's Director of Elections, Evans Nimaku.
Parties agree that the transfer system that is starting today, parties will have agents around. Yep. It is for EC to send the official communication to all stakeholders. Not cited it, but it is for EC to communicate to the security agencies that at IPAC meeting of yesterday, we've agreed that we will have an agent to ensure that anybody who appears before the district officer to apply for transfer would have met the requirement as it is in the CI 127.
If you go to the district...
Well, the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustafa Gbande, is demanding fairness in the exercise.
So when you have to encounter these things, then you ask yourself, is it administrative incompetence or is deliberately to hold back the NDC's involvement? We have transfers today. Yesterday's IPAC, it was agreed that agents will be represented. Am I lying? But you have some electoral commission officers at the district level denying flatly that agents are not supposed to be there. Police commanders getting involved. Why didn't the commission send notices? These are the challenges that we have. What the electoral commission does, that brings out the communications and all the the rancor that whichever way it is, we are being vigilant. What is the business of a police commander when you haven't received instruction from the headquarters to drive to a transfer center and say, agents cannot be there?
The Director of Electoral Services with the EC, Dr. Shrebo Kwako, is assuring that steps will be taken to allow the parties represent.
If you go to the district offices now, you read that the message had gone deep to the ground. The offices are choked with applicants. The transfer, the prosy, the replacement are all done at the district offices. Because you need to biometrically be checked from the data center. It is the district office that you can have reliable connectivity to do that. So you go there with your ID card. You go with the voter ID card. You should also go with evidence that actually you have relocated and you have stayed at a new place for no less than 12 months. Once you have that one and you are a genuinely registered voter,
we'll go through.
You put your fingerprint on, you go through.
That was Dr. Shrebo Kwako. He's Director of Electoral Services with the EC. But in the latest twist, the Electoral Commission, in a memo to its regional directors, is kicking against the involvement of the political party agents. And my colleague Elton John Broby joins me in the studio with more. Why is the EC saying this now?
Well, they say that the Commission attention has been drawn to a violent clashes occurring at some of the district offices as a result of the transfer of votes exercise. Regional directors are to inform district officers not to allow agents of political parties to observe the transfer of votes exercise with effect from today, Monday, 3rd June 2024, pursuant to Regulation 22.8 of CI 127. Returning officers are required to give copies of the transfer votes list to political parties and candidates upon request. District officers should ensure that they strictly adhere to this requirement.
And we know the NDC is rejecting the EC's position. Why so?
They are saying that their agents should go ahead and monitor the exercise. They should reject the EC directive and then to be at all the polling centers.
That was Elton John Broby there. Let's take you live to the Electoral Commission office where an emergency IPAC meeting is taking place, and my colleague Samuel Imbura is there for joining us. If you can hear me, Samuel, what have they been discussing?
Well, Hannah, the main agenda is what you and Elton have been discussing. Well, they are looking at how they can address the issues emerging from this voter transfer exercise, in which it has created some chaos. We can reference what happened over the weekend in Kaswa, where the NDC said it prevented the attempt by the MPP to ask people to come and transfer their votes. So they are taking these issues into perspective to look at a way forward and reach a compromise so that the exercise can go on without any challenges. But the political parties already have taken an entrenched position. They think that the directive by the EC is not something that is constitutional, and it is something that will bring more chaos, so they should allow that. So at the moment, they are in that particular meeting where the EC is being, is being represented by Dr. Bosman Asare and other CSOs and all the political parties concerned so far as this exercise is ongoing.
It's ongoing. And you spoke to the NDC's Director of Elections, Dr. Edward Omane Boama, ahead of the meeting. What else did he tell you?
Well, Dr. Omane Boama was really unhappy, and you could see that he was visibly angry. And he tells me that the EC did not inform them about the memo that Elton just read to our listeners, that directing the officers not to allow the party agents. He says it is unconstitutional.
The EC should not provoke us. We will not sit down for them to cheat together with the MPP in this 2024 elections.
Doc, was it directed to only the NDC agents or all political party agents?
I do not know if they've spoken to the political party agents, but the directive as we have read it is to all agents.
You don't have a copy of the directive at all?
We have seen it on social media. The most important thing is that, why? The MPP, do they really care about transparency?
Director of Elections, Dr. Edward Omane Boama, speaking to Imbura, who is still on the line with us. Imbura, you also spoke to some political party reps at the EC office where the transfer is taking place. What have they been telling you?
Well, I spoke to Eric Doe. He is the constituency organizer for Kwale Crosse constituency. They are doing their transfer here at the EC corporate office at Ridge, and together with Ayawasu East, West, and then Central. He says they don't have a problem with the EC's directive, and the directive will ensure that the exercise is conducted orderly without any chaos.
That is yesterday when I had information that all agents are not supposed to be at the polling center, they should move away. And I support the EC idea of doing that. Because yesterday, for instance, we had a problem in Ayawaso West. Waigon, they were fighting based on lines. The two parties, the agents, were fighting based on lines. So I felt it. If this is what the EC is saying, then I support it.
So the bottom line is you are not against this directive by the EC at all?
Of course, I'm not. I don't.
But what are the issues you have observed here that you have objections to?
The issues has to do with the line and the noise. The noise has to do with you coming after me. Sometimes we consider the old and the aged, and also breastfeeding mothers also. We consider them.
Now, Samuel Imbura will bring us more from that emergency IPAC meeting in subsequent bulletins. Let's go to the Accra High Court, which has given parties in the ongoing anti-LGBTQI+ case of Paul Boama-Sefa versus the Speaker of Parliament and another 4 weeks to file their written submissions to support their arguments before a determination is made on July 29. Mr. Boama-Sefa, a farmer in the Ashanti region, is praying the Supreme Court to stop the passage of a bill. The bill, which has since been passed into an act, waiting for presidential approval to make it a law. Latif Idrisu was in court for Joy News and joins us here in the studio. Now, what happened in court today? Tell us more.
Yeah, essentially that's the major happening at the court today. It was a very brief, proceedings, and considering the fact that this is also historic, for the first time we had cameras in the court to carry out live broadcast of the proceedings. It turned out to be very brief. The sitting judge, Justice Ellen Miriku, she conferred with the lawyers for the parties. The parties involved here, the Attorney General, the Speaker of Parliament, and then the plaintiff himself. After conferring with them for like 10 minutes, she concluded that she's giving the plaintiff up until July 4th. So the plaintiff has until July 4th to file his written submission. Then the Attorney General and the Speaker of Parliament has up until 28th of July to file theirs. That same day, the court is expected to make a determination on the substantive matter.
Great. And you obviously monitor the reaction of the parties to the suit after the court directive. Tell us about that.
Yeah, they were all okay with the determination by the court. I think it's something they had agreed on before the proceedings. So when the judge mentioned it, they were all okay with it.
They were all okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Latif Idris. In a related development, the minority leader, Dr. Kesa Latofosin, the first accused person in the ongoing ambulance procurement trial, has applied for a mistrial. He cited recent developments involving a leaked telephone conversation between the third accused in the case, Richard Jakpa, and Attorney General Godfrey Odame. A mistrial occurs when a jury is unable to reach a verdict and there must be a new trial with a new jury, or there is a serious procedural error or misconduct that will result in an unfair trial, and the judge adjourns the case without a decision on the merits and awards a new trial. In his affidavit filed on On Friday, May 31, Dr. Kesa Latofosin highlighted concerns regarding the leaked tape, which he believes demonstrates professional misconduct on the part of the Attorney General. The minority leader argues that failure to order a mistrial in such circumstances, where there appears to be a blatant disregard for the rule of law and ethical standards of prosecution by none other than the Attorney General, could severely undermine public confidence in the judicial process. Let's move on. And after weeks of Joy News' dialysis crisis series, which culminated in a national dialogue on the matter last year, and our stories tracking the promises that were made by various officials and stakeholders some days ago, the National Health Insurance Scheme is set to begin a free 6-month dialysis program for renal patients. In a statement released by the National Health Insurance Authority, it said the initiative will cost 4.4 million cedis, with government committed to finding sustainable interventions to deal with renal diseases and other illnesses not currently covered. And we'll be hearing from the NHIA in subsequent bulletins. But Maxwell Akpapa joins me in the studio with details of the statements from the NHIA. The beneficiaries have been divided into 2 categories. Give us the details.
So we have the vulnerable groups, patients aged below 18 and above 60. Now, patients under 18 and above 60 years will receive all 8 free dialysis sessions per month under the National Health Insurance Scheme, NHIS, from June to December 2024. And then the cost of dialysis for these categories upon verification of the actual patients on the dialysis is projected to be 329,952 Ghana cedis per month. And by the end of December 2024, the cumulative cost is estimated to be approximately 2.3 million Ghana cedis. The second category, persons aged 18 to 59 years. And we're told that patients from Komfanochi Teaching Hospital, Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, Ethiopian Kwanta Regional Hospital, Hull Teaching Hospital, and Tamale Teaching Hospital, except Kolibu, will receive 2 dialysis sessions per month at 982 Ghana cedis, and that is 491 Ghana cedis per session, as indicated on the table that we have here.
What is the source of funding for all this free program?
Well, the government of Ghana, through Parliament, approved an amount of 2 million Ghana cedis in the NHIS 2024 allocation formula to support needy and vulnerable patients seeking dialysis treatment. Now, as part of NHIS 20th anniversary, the National Health Insurance Authority, through administrative arrangements, has allocated an additional 2,400,000 Ghana cedis under the corporate social responsibility approved budget of the scheme to support this initiative.
And that's your bit, so we know you'll be bringing us more stories from this free program.
Hannah.
That's Maxwell Agbagba. So the Renal Patients Association of Ghana has described this initiative as laudable but demands a lasting solution. Let's hear from the president, Kojo Boafo Ahinkra.
Really appreciate what National Health Insurance have done to save lives, to help us. I mean, the children between 0 to 18 and then above 60, they are the more vulnerable ones. Yes, we all need help. But they are more vulnerable. I mean, and the money too wasn't that big. That is one thing people should know. The money is just 2 million Ghana cedis. Even if you say we are sharing it to all of us, it would be like one session or something of that. So what is the essence of that? So if this will take care of our tickets for us and then the agent, I think it's a very laudable idea. We really appreciate what they've done. We hope something good will come out. I mean, a lasting solution to it.
Well, the Chief Executive Officer of the National Health Insurance Authority, Dr. Abuaje Costa, says the free program is being rolled out on compassionate grounds. He adds his confidence that at the time it elapses, the government will announce a more sustainable way of mitigating the sufferings of renal patients.
Parliament approved 2 million Ghana cedis for the NHIA to use in supporting dialysis needy patients. So when we looked at the numbers, and for the numbers for the elderly and that of the children below the ages of 18, we realized that it is something that we can obviously cover all their 8 sections because they are the needy. So immediately they were our first priority to consider. And when we considered that, we realized that obviously we will also be able to support the other patients between the ages of 18 and 59. So what we did was, for all persons between the ages of 18 to 59 from selected facilities that we do have the list, we are giving them 2 dialysis sessions free of charge at a cost of 982 per month. So for the elderly above 60 years, they are getting the 8 sessions free, and for children below the ages of 18, they are also getting the 8 sessions free. I certainly know that government is obviously thinking through a sustainable way for financing dialysis.
You heard there Dr. Abuaje Da Costa. He is Chief Executive Officer of the National Health Insurance Authority. Let's take a trip to the Ashanti region. And Ghanaian movie actor Kojo Nkansa, known as Lil Wayne, has been picked up by the Mencia Divisional Police MTTD in connection with a motor accident that claimed the life of a 3-year-old boy there last week. He was picked up earlier today shortly after his discharge from the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital. The police division has confirmed arrangements to arraign him before court after taking his statement today. So let's go to Clinton Yabwa, who is at the Zongo police station in Kumasi, for more on this. Clinton, what is the police and management of the actor saying?
Thank you very much. So it has been a moment of distress at the Mencia Divisional MTTD, and you could see distress also from the faces of the management of Weezy Empire. I tried speaking to the PR who led a group of fans into the premises. He said because the lawyers are in the premises and to respond to whatever the police has to say, he cannot speak to what is happening. So he's given us the opportunity to wait for the lawyers to finish dealing with the police division before the management can attend to us. But there was a fascinating scene that could be seen earlier when the management of Wheezy Empire arrived at the premises. They were told not to enter. They were denied access to the actor.
Well, we seem to have lost Clinton there, and he will bring us more details from the Zongo police station in Kumasi. This is the Midday News with me, Hannah Odame. We brought you the story about political parties in a standoff with the Electoral Commission over a directive to prevent agents from monitoring the ongoing transfer of votes across the country. And after weeks of joining this dialysis crisis series, the National Health Insurance Scheme is set to begin a free 6-month dialysis program starting this June. And we just heard there actor Luwena arrested by the Zongo police. More coming up.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
The regular football season is over. But not for us here at Supersport. We've got a big deal coming your way. Get connected to DSTV to see some of football's biggest names starring in all 51 matches of Euro 2024, live and in HD. Now that's a big deal.
You're welcome back. Achu Tamaklo is here with the sports.
Well, the Black Stars of Ghana are intensifying their preparations for that World Cup qualifier against Mali, who they'll play on Thursday in Bamako. But back here in the capital, the focus is on Accra Hearts-Savouk, who for the second consecutive season are battling relegation. With just 2 games remaining, Hearts-Savouk are just 2 points above the drop zone, needing to win both games, one of which is against fellow relegation battlers Great Olympics on Sunday. Here's Hearts coach Abubakar Ouattara.
We just win. We get the 3 points. That's the important thing. Now we are thinking about the next match. You see the second half is very tough. We have so many problems, the injuries, and the team, nation are playing well. But unfortunately, we get the 2 goals early. It's good for us. We are trying to keep the ball longer, but it's not easy with the pressure and everything.
Abubakar Ouattara is Accra Hearts-Savouk coach, speaking after Friday's 2-0 win over Nations FC.
Thank you very much. Now, many who were affected by the June 3rd fire and flood disaster at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle here in the national capital are still afraid to see the clouds gather or witness any fire. Any scenes of these two brings to memory an incident that changed their lives forever. As the nation remembers the dreadful incident that day 9 years ago, I spoke to Thomas Sechi, organizer at the pedestrian shopping mall, who says the intervention of some ladies saved his life.
June 3rd, filling station
I had just arrived in front of the fuel station to arrange for my trip to Togo, where I buy wares to sell here in Ghana. Just as I was standing on the pavement in front of the market, the blast occurred. It was the intervention of some ladies who were standing on top of one of the buildings that saved me from being totally burnt. They were screaming, "Fire, fire!" Even with that, I had been injured by the rush through the flood. I still have scars from that injury, but I'm grateful to God to be alive.
Well, in April this year, the Works and Housing Minister, Kojo Nkrumah, admitted on the Pulse on the Joy News channel that there has been delays in flood control preparedness due to resource constraints. He was, however, hopeful that though the objectives of the National Flood Control Program has delayed, they will be implemented with the available resources to avert any perennial flooding.
I'm sorry to break your heart, but we're already behind schedule on the flood control program.
because of resource constraints that we have had. I have inherited a flood control program that is behind schedule. Even what we are doing is just about 2% of what we should be doing in the Greater Accra region. It's a $200 million project funded by the World Bank. That's a Garrett project. But what has actually been released or spent is not up to $200 million. We are running as much as we can, but we are behind schedule. We will do our best with the resources and time that we have, and we'll make a case for more resources and some more seriousness in getting the work done so that in the shortest possible time, it will be a thing of the past.
And there's a caution here by the Meteo Agency that is warning that the rains will be accompanied by strong winds, and so drivers should not park near tall buildings or structures.
For 2024 rainy season, you have observed the storms are normally accompanied with strong winds, which can bring distractions, which can rip roofing off buildings, which can uproot the trees, and then at times this billboard can also be uprooted or pulled down.
City Ahia Fianyo is with the Ghana Meteo Agency. Now, the head of Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology Department of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Isaac Osei-Kranting, is alarmed at the increase in deaths of pregnant women and their babies due to their strict religious affiliation. According to him, many pregnant women in danger of losing their lives during labor refuse medical care until doctors sometimes allow their pastors to intervene. He describes the situation as unacceptable.
A patient came in labor, referred from elsewhere, and said that the pastor has said that he should not go under the knife. And the indication for the reason why she had to go under the knife was that the baby was in fetal distress and imminent fetal demise was about to happen. No matter what we told this lady, she refused, and the baby died. And after the death of the baby, having gone through labor and she was tired, now agreed to have the cesarean section. We have to remove a dead baby for her. This is a very pathetic story.
And do you get more of such religious influence cases at the hospital?
There has been situations where you need to talk to the pastor, for the pastor to convince the lady before the lady go out. People have died because they refused blood transfusion. I mean, every year, including this year.
Dr. Isaac Osei-Kranting is with the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Now, Ghanaian dance duo Afronita and Abigail placed third after a grueling finale of the 2024 Britain's Got Talent show. At the finals yesterday, they put up an electrifying performance in bright Ghanaian colors, coming in the top 3 out of the 10 finalists. And my colleague Jacqueline Ansomaya has more in this report.
The grand finale of Britain's Got Talent, held on Sunday, June 2nd, 2024, showcased 10 outstanding acts vying for the coveted title. Ghanaian dancers Afronita and Abigail wowed the crowd with an electrifying performance, dazzling in bright Ghanaian colors.
It all turned into Bruno with standing. I feel like I need to stand to talk to you, just to tell you from the heart how much I love you, how much I've enjoyed you on this series. Every time you've been up there, you have been shining in all your glory, Ghana energy. You are incredible.
Our entire audience have fallen in love with you two. The other day, I replayed your performance and I turned the volume down because I wanted to feel what it was like to do this without listening to the music.
And you'll agree with me, Max and Jackie, that Ghana energy was felt on social media. What do you have to say?
Congratulations to Abigail and Afronita. Yeah, they made Ghana really proud. And on social media, the 25th TGMA Ghana Music Awards is trending. Lil Wayne is also trending. And some persons on social media are also talking about the June 3 disaster. You know, it's 9 years after that unfortunate incident. I remember I slept very early that day. It was light out, woke up to the news. Where were you?
It was light out as well. And so I woke up to hear the news, the story that Elton was reporting. He said he was stepping on dead bodies. I remember that.
Yeah, and Jerome Ekpo is sharing how he lost his father on that day. He said, Daddy, I'll forever miss you. When I remember your last words, I'm going for a forum at Accra. I thought I'd see you back strong, healthy, and kicking human, but what I saw created a vacuum. He continues, yeah.
Well, yeah, and Lowen is also trending after he was picked up by the police this morning. People have been sharing their thoughts on it on social media. Some people are saying that they are not surprised. Some people are calling for the fact that he should be imprisoned. We didn't hear from the police and this morning, so it's just
after a week.
Yeah, after a week.
Young Blood on social media, on Twitter, says Lil Wayne is acting even in real life, shaking my head. The issue would definitely not go anywhere. I'm surprised why he's saying this though. Anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Maxwell and Jackie.
But Stoneboy is the artist of the year, so why don't you leave you with some Stoneboys music? Yeah.
And that's all for the Midday News with me, Hannah Odame. Please log on to myjoyonline.com. You'll find more news there as you listen to Stoneboy. Up next is Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil.
Person, I go love you better than you a blessing. Physically you a fit your thing amazing. Now look further, done with the searching. Me I watch you long time. I dey see you for dream, you don't be one time. Baby I want to go into the future with you. I'm not gonna leave you at the end of the road.
Shall we? Let's go.